Matt, I didn't realise Sir Jim owns Nice.
He does, yes. They've been for a couple of seasons now. Obviously, Kasper Schmeichel and Aaron Ramsey have gone there already this summer. So yes, I mean that would be one fascination. Obviously, if he does get his hands on Manchester United, as to what they would do with that if they're both in European competition.
So, Matt, what about? I think he's playing this pretty straight back. If the Glazers want to sell, if they're interested in sell, I'd be interested. So I don't see any sort of rogue takeover or a nasty piece of business here. I think it's a case of if they want to sell a bit, fine. If they want to sell it all, I'll consider it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it is that straightforward, as you say. I don't think there's any way of sort of doing a hostile takeover. Obviously, we know now, and I certainly understand that the Glazers are looking for some kind of outside investment for a stake, and Jim Ratcliffe is willing to discuss that. At the same time, yeah, I think we see from his other businesses, and certainly knowing the means he's got available to him, that he's not the type to stay a sort of silent minority holder for forever. I think he's a guy who likes to own things, control things, and run things. So I think if he was to get involved, even if it was initially with a minority stake, he would want that to. Well, I was told sort of firmly yesterday that he would want that to be with a view to a full takeover. So, the ball really is in the Glazers' court now. Obviously, the state of United, I think obviously the way the club's been run is catching up with them now on and off the pitch. And, I think the club is at an absolutely fascinating sort of, fork in the road for its history.
Do you think that the Glazers are even bothered about the fan unrest? Some of these owners, living in America, not bothered, are they? They don't see it every day. Do you think they will care that the fans are going to protest at the game on Monday?
Well, for the previous decade, I think you're right. They had shown no care of that, but that has changed over the last couple of years. Joel Glazer's done various calls to groups. They've been talking about a fan share scheme. Whether it's platitudes or not, they have suddenly sort of woken up to the fact that this is heading in the wrong direction, again, on and off the pitch. And I think, they can be complacent about sort of fan reaction for a while, but yeah, I do think all this stuff starts to catch up. I mean, obviously, we're seeing commercially they're going to start to lose income if they're out of the Champions League. I think Old Trafford, everyone knows, they're suddenly saying, right, we might have to spend $500 million to $1 billion, modernising the stadium. So, I think we are seeing the results on the pitch, never more than at Brentford, the results of mismanagement and complacency. And I think now, say even the Glazers have realised that there's only one direction of travel at the moment, and it's not a good one.
The alarm bells at half time, I couldn't believe what I had to look 3 times. What's the score at half time? It was amazing. Matt, have we any idea, or are we just guessing about the debt at Old Trafford now, and how much money the Glazers have actually taken out of Manchester United?
Well, I think there was a fantastic. There's the financial blogger Swiss Ramble who did a fantastic sort of set of financial studies for United this week, and it comes with interest payments and dividends to over $1 billion over the time that they've done. They've also spent a lot of money, net spend on transfers in the last 5 years, but obviously they've not spent it well. That's the absolutely key point. And again, there was just so much. I mean, I think Jim Ratcliffe's spokesman used the word reset to me yesterday. I think at so many levels this club needs a reset, and one of those ways of having a reset is by the Glazers. Obviously most fans want them to just sell up entirely, but the way it seems to be forming is that it might not be quite that simple. They're looking at some kind of investment. Saw another story out there this morning that they're already in talks with a US private equity firm, but obviously that will set off fans' alarm bells because private equity firms tend to want their money back with interest. So is that the right road to go down for United at the moment?
But the problem with fans is, Matt, as you know fine well, let's take Everton, for example. Everton's struggling for their lives, and Mr. Kenwright still gets pelters, and he's a massive Evertonian.
Well, I mean, the fans are obviously, shall we say, passionate and feel very strongly. But I mean, I don't think. I think we're all seeing now that this isn't just any objective view of United shows that this club, one of the biggest in the world, hugely successful, is not being run as it should be. I don't think that's just any type of rational view. Is that this club, the recruitment? Just look at the recruitment in these last few weeks. I mean, it's all over the place. What is the strategy? The Eric Ten Hag era has got off to a terrible start, and I think there's a lot of causes behind that. But clearly,
he must be thinking, "What have I stepped into?"
Well, exactly. And you got the Ronaldo. Ronaldo crystallises a lot. Understanding is that the coaches want him out because he's past his prime and he's not been a good figure around the club. But at the same time, the Glazers have this superstar who the sponsors love, no doubt, and is good for the profile. And so you've got an instant tension there. So this club can't use the word reset enough. I should think. I mean, it needs it at every single level.
Do you think there could be a bid in the next 3 weeks?
Well, I think it's this is the fascination now. Say the Glazers are clearly looking at all kinds of sort of financing options. I think Jim Ratcliffe has gone public because I think they think, well, let's sort of say, okay, we're ready to engage and see how the Glazers respond. I think it is at a crucial fork in the road. The Glazers, I think, I understand they need money. They want money, not least because of the club's infrastructure is out of date. They move in mysterious ways, as we've seen. But I think there is a heck of an onus on them now to show some new direction to this club because, you only have to look on the pitch to see it's where it's heading at the moment.
Matt, just finally, do you think we'll see some sort of protest Monday, or is it too big a game for United fans?
I think I'm pretty sure you're going to see stuff. I mean, how shall we say febrile it is does remain to be seen. But I think the news that comes out every day only sort of adds to the intensity. Fans want answers now. They're not going to tolerate being 4-0 down after 35 minutes to Brentford very often. I think passions are running high, but it's also they can see now that there are viable alternatives to the Glazers. I mean, Jim Ratcliffe is, a multi-billionaire, and that is a credible, viable alternative. And fans are quite rightly asking questions about, right, what happens next?
Matt, nice one. Thank you. Thanks to Times senior sports writer Matt Dickinson. Manchester United's next game is at home to Liverpool, live and exclusive on Game Night on talkSPORT next Monday.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.